Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about the supervisory access to TxRecord. And so TxRecord actually has two major components. That's being, TX, you have audio recording as well as screen capture. And a typical call an inbound call that comes in would be as follows. A caller will call in and the Avaya will get the call. There'll be a TX, it hits TX IVR, it basically plays some greetings. And then based on that, you will select something, which particular queue you want to get to. The call gets transferred, and then the call will hit the agent with a screen pop-up. And from then on, as soon as the agent picks up the call, it starts recording, and it, along with the audio call, it will also record the screen capture. And just 2 minutes on this, just a structure of it. Basically, you have Avaya, AES, and Avaya CM, and then all the SIP extensions. And we are actually doing single steps conferencing. And TxRecord has this database, and it will basically capture the audio capture. Audio capturing is done at the server side, and then all the screen capture gets done by having a little program that runs on each agent's desktop. And that, it's basically capturing your screen. And once the screen is captured, once the call is established and when the call ends, that is the time when it basically sends that particular record from an agent's screen, and it will go back to the database and the TxRecord server. And then from here, it just combines the screen with the audio and creates a actual video file. And that's what gets saved in the file server. And we save the file for 30 days online, and then it'll get transferred to a slower server space, which we will be configuring that with your team, so that after 30 days, it will get archived for X number of months based on the amount of space you give, and also the amount of storage that you want to keep. Like you may have a contract saying that the recordings has to be saved for 6 months or 9 months or 1 year or whatever.
So Prem, that's going to be 12 months, Prem.
12 months, okay. So that's basically what will happen is, we will be we are actually pointing that particular storage space to the server, and the server after 30 days, it'll just start moving into that particular space, and that's where it'll be saved. And then, whether you want to keep it for 12 months or, more than that, based on how much space you have and so on. So that's something we'll be configuring that as soon as we finish the training. And the training part, there are two possible type of training. One is the supervisory training, and then we also have a small admin training, which basically talks a little bit more about this architecture, and so that you will know a little bit on the Avaya side also. And so at this point, what I'll do is TxRecord, you have audio recording and screen capture, and our team, which is Ranjita and Deepak, will take you through the actual login, starting from login into the TxRecord, and then maneuvering through the system, and also how to create users and how to create, how to search records and all those things. So back to Ranjita or Deepak. Why don't you take it over from here?
Yeah, Prem. Hello, everyone. I'll be taking you through TxRecord web portal, the supervisor session. So this is the web portal which we have already set up in the server. So this will be the URL which you have to enter in the web browser to land into this page. I'll pass on this URL once this session is done. So initially, admin will be responsible in creating the supervisor. Once he creates the supervisor in web page, the password will be emailed to the respective supervisor. So supervisor can use that email ID and password to log into this page. So I added myself as a supervisor to show it to you guys. So let me log into my credential. Suppose a supervisor forgot his password, he can click on this icon, question mark icon, and this will take him to forgot password page where he has to enter his email ID, and the forgot password link will be sent to his respective email ID. From there, he can reset his password. So let me log into this page. Once the supervisor logs into TxRecord web portal, he will be redirected to this page. This page is called as search page. So this is the page where all the recordings will be listed. Before explaining this page, let me just show some basic other pages. So under the name, now currently I have logged in. So my name is listed here. Tomorrow, suppose Kathy is added as a supervisor. So Kathy's name will be listed. Kathy's name will be visible here. So if you click on the name, you can see the profile page. It's just a small description on the user. Second page, second is the change password. Suppose you want to change your password, you can log in, you can go to this page and you can enter your old password, new password, and confirm the new password and submit it. If you do this, your password will be changed. And help will open a user manual on TxRecord, and sign out is to sign out from this web portal. If you are in some other page and if you want to go back to the search page, you can click on this search icon, which is listed in, which is shown in the navigation bar. Let me click on it. So as I was telling, this is the search page. So if you land into this page will list out all the recordings of that particular day. Suppose tomorrow if I log into this web page, it will list out all the recordings, all the tomorrow's recordings. So if you see here, the upper section is the filter section, where you can filter out for different conditions, and the lower part is called dashboard. Dashboard will have all the details of the recordings. If you see here, the second column is named as record ID. Record ID is nothing but the unique ID assigned to every recording. Suppose tomorrow if you want to search for this particular recording and you have noted down this ID. So let me copy this, and you log in, noted down this record ID, and you know when the recording had happened. So you can log in back to this web portal, and in the application data, there is something called as record ID. You can enter that record ID and you can search in the web page. So it will list out only that recording which you have been searching. Let me clear this out. And this dashboard has some other details such as application. Application is queues to which it belongs, agent ID. So today Deepak had made some test calls. So Deepak acted as agent. So agent name is listed here. And from where today we made few inbound calls. So from where the call was made and from to where the call has landed. So it will be shown here. And the queue is nothing but the queue name. These are all the test calls. So when we are actually making the calls, Kathy has listed few queues such as all planners, customer care. So in this section, all those names will be displayed. Start time is nothing but the time at which screen capture was started. Duration is duration of each call. So if you see today's call, all the calls are less than 30 seconds. If you see the first call is 26 seconds and so on. It says the duration of each call. And the last two are call direction. Today we made all the inbound calls. So it is saying I. Suppose tomorrow agent makes outbound call. So it will say as O, that is outbound. Record type, if it is a video or audio, V or A. Once the supervisor logs into this page, he can do different activities on each and every recording. Suppose he wants to play a particular recording, he can click on the row and click on play. So a pop-up will occur and the screen capture video will be shown. So if suppose he doesn't want to play in TxRecord web portal, he wants to download and check it out, he can click on the download button. So it will get downloaded to his PC. And we have some feature named Assess. Assess is nothing but evaluation of that recording. And we have created some basic form for you to check it out. So if you click on that particular row and click on Assess, you can check this particular form. In the second tab, the recording will get played, and meanwhile, simultaneously, you can evaluate that particular recording. Once you give marks, you can click on score, and agents can log into this web portal, and the report will be visible to the admins. If you want to refer this particular recording to some other supervisors or admin, you can assign this particular recording. If I click on assign, you can select the group admin and you can assign to that particular user. He can be admin or supervisor. If you want to leave out a comment on that particular recording, you can say comment and leave out a comment in this section. I had given a comment to this particular recording. I'll show it to you. So I told good, it will say which user has commented it out and when. Export feature is nothing but it will export all the data which is listed in this particular dashboard into an Excel file. If I say export, it will export all the data into this Excel file. So we have seen all the features. Now we'll see the first columns. These small icons which is populated in the first column, it brings out some of the properties of that particular recording. For example, if you see in the second row, it says commented. It means that that particular recording, somebody has commented on that recording. Second icon is played. It says that if it is highlighted, it means that that activity has been done. So it is saying that it has been played, it has been assigned, and it has been marked, or flag has been done. Flag is nothing but, suppose supervisor can have different priorities, or suppose I feel this third recording is important to me and I want to mark that recording. So I'll right click on it and say mark and say hi. So it will mark that particular recording. Tomorrow, if I want to check the recording which I marked as hi, I can log into this web portal and go to application data, mark filter and say hi. So it will list out all the recordings which has marked as hi. And let me clear that filter. Marking, the fifth icon says this particular recording has been assessed. Sixth icon will say whether that recording is video recording or the audio recording. If you see first 5 recordings are video recording and the last particular recording is audio recording. And today all the test calls were done as an inbound call. So all the calls are shown as inbound. And the last icon says whether customer has dropped the call or agent has dropped the call. The first 2 calls customer has dropped and the last 4 calls agent has dropped. So the first column just briefs out what has happened on that particular recording. So this is dashboard. Let us go through the filters. Suppose filters are nothing but if you want to minimize the number of recordings listed based on the conditions, you can use the filters. Call direction is nothing but if you want to list out all the recordings, all the inbound calls are customer calling and agents answering are called inbound calls. If you want to filter out only those recordings, you can click on this. If you want to check only outbound calls, that is agent calling and customer answering, then you can select this particular filter. So as I told before, when you land to this page, it will list out only the recordings of that particular day. Suppose you want to check for a large date range or for a different date, you can select it here. If I want to check for only yesterday's recording, I can say start date as yesterday and end date as yesterday. So it will list out only for yesterday's recording. Now, if I say end date as today, it will list out yesterday's as well as today's recording. Let me search. So if you see here, 2 more rows has been added. So if I come, it is listing out even yesterday's recording, Tuesday, 11th January. To and from, if you know the customer number and if you want to filter out the recording of that particular customer, you can add that number to this field. I'll show you in the listing page. Today we made inbound calls, so the customer number will be filtered under from column. So if you know the customer number, and you can, if you want to check out only that customer numbers, that customer's recording, you can filter it out here in from and to section. So it is just listing out the calls from that particular customer.
Yeah, and the numbers can be even partial, like it doesn't have to be like full. Like just in case if you don't know the full number, you know the last 4 digit or something, you can search based on that as well.
So we can search agent ID to agent ID for like internal, say, customer care to planner. Okay.
Yeah, in the application data section, you have all the agent ID details. So
I have a quick question, if I may. The agent ID, sure. is that referring to the physical phone extension that's being recorded?
Jeff, it is the via agent ID for the agent.
So we're we need both when we're building an agent in the system. We need their agent ID and their extension number.
Yeah, we can put both. So the only reason is at some place, the agent keep changing the physical phone, right? Because they can log in from any extension to the Avaya system. So that's the reason why it's given 2 different.
Oh, I see.
So,
okay.
But we can search by agent ID, right? Because we don't list physical extensions. And we want to ensure, especially right. Okay. And then just right now, our planners are working from home just because of the COVID uptick. So we just want to ensure that this is going to be no problem you know, if we go live with them at home and then when they come back, as long as we have the correct agent IDs and physical extensions married to each agent, we're good, right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
So the applications, so basically, I think each category what you listed there, I think we'll list out in applications, like I think the planner and you know, call center, customer care and things. So we'll put it in the application, and the agents will be associated to these applications. So if you you can go pick a application and then it will filter all the agents who are under that, or you can just go to agents. It will list out all the agents and then you can select that. So again, based on the supervisor, like there may be a possibility that, you know, a certain supervisor may want to assess or like basically have access to the recording only for certain group, like, you know, it may be like a planner. So we can do that as well. So they will see the recordings only for that particular group, what they need to have the access to.
So we'll need their actual, we'll need all the skills imported into here too. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ranjita, continue. Sorry.
So, yeah, the application data has few more filters. Application data tab. So applications, you can filter out. Kathy has provided a few queues, so we added few applications. So if we made all the test calls using application direct call, so if I filter out direct call and search on it, so it will list out all the calls for that particular application. And agent, we have added only 2 agents for now. So in under agent section, agent's name will be listed out. You can select which agent's recording you want to list out. You can select this filter. Agent ID is where agent ID will be listed, and you can select which agent's recording you want to search. You can check on that particular agent ID. Mark filter I have already shown you. You can mark particular recording and you can filter it out which you want to check by using this filter. Record ID is to filter out recordings based on the ID. And we have few more filters where you can check whether you want to list out audio calls or video calls, and duration of that recording and file size of that recording. Yeah, that's pretty much in TxRecord.
So Ranjita, adding users and all those things covered in the admin, or is that under the supervisor?
Yeah, supervisor doesn't have the privilege to add users. He just has the privilege to check the recordings.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is more about like, you know, how to filter specific recordings and then look at it, download it, assess it, and things like that. I think all the other privileges like to add and configure the system, I think probably admins will have that particular thing.
Any other questions? The help desk will tell you will point to a manual. So and if required, we can send you a PDF version also. But actually, that's the same thing as if you click on the help, it's opening the PDF file.
Yeah, and I think one more thing, Ranjita, can you play a video there, like any one of them, like the screen capture one? Yeah, so by default it plays over here. Now, if you, I understand that here, like it's pretty small and it may not be very clear. Like unless you are looking for specifics, like you can go through it. But if you want to actually see what is there, it may not be clear since the screen, it's taking a small part of the screen. So there is a maximize button down there next to the volume. So you can press that, or on the top also there's a maximize button. It will go full screen when you do that.
Prem, I have another question. I have another question, Prem. So all of our agents, or the vast majority of them, are using multiple screens. Is this going to account for the multiple screens when
Yes.
it's recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Jeff. Yeah.
Yes.
That's up to I think that they would have a maximum of 3 total screens typically.
Yeah, it captures multiple screens. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, the way I was saying, you have option to maximize here, or you can download the file to your machine and then play with your default player as well. Yeah, so now it's, I think, gone full screen. Okay. So would you like to see a call being done and see that over
Yes,
now?
please.
If there's no,
Yes.
okay, fine. So yeah,
You
I
want me
think.
to make the call?
Yeah, Prem, can you make me the presenter once?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, here basically I'm logged in as an agent. And this is my wire phone through which I'll be answering. You may not be able to hear my voice since I'm using as a remote client, and I'm actually using it over the browser, the desktop. But I think when Prem makes a call, you should be able to hear his voice and you should be able to see my screen. So I'll do some activity on the screen with the call. So probably we can, when the recording is ready, we can see that. Yeah, Prem, you
Can I
would
make
like
the
to
call?
make the call?
It's the same
Yeah, sure.
716 number, right?
The one which is ending with 7708.
Ending with 7708, right?
Correct. Yeah.
716 879 7708.
So I left the phone on auto answer. So it answered the call now. And let me also open some application over here so we can see. I'll probably open Notepad.
Okay, so I'll just start talking. This is Prem making a test call to Deepak, and I'll just count 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'll just disconnect the call now. Thank you.
Okay, I think the call is ended over here. So now what happens is the call is happening on the Avaya system. So we are recording on the backend on the server side, and we are having a small client running over here, the blue one on, if you see my mouse pointer. So that is a client which is responsible for the screen recording on the agent desktop. So this is a installation what we'll be providing to you, and we'll have to install it in all the agent machine. And this will be responsible for recording and pushing the records to the server. Okay. So usually this once the recording happens, it takes like a couple of minutes for the recording to be available on the TxRecord portal. Okay. I think while we are waiting, I can also show one more thing. Like I think Jeff asked a question about dual screen. So I think right now, since I'm connecting it over the browser, and I do not have 2 monitors here, so I may not be able to show. But this is one of the earlier recordings what we had tried for the dual screen. So I just paused the thing. So what you're seeing is the first screen, and the next half is the second screen in this particular thing. So it captures both of them, any activity happening on both. Yeah, so yeah, just wanted to show you that. So that's how it will be, it will look, Jeff, when you do a double, like a dual monitor or more than 2 monitors. So it will, the width of the video will increase. And I think this is when that's when your full screen or downloading and playing will come handy, because you will not be able to see the text, particularly in that small window.
Right.
Yeah. Ranjita, can you check if the recording is ready?
Yeah.
I had a question. I'm not sure if you already just answered that, but so Jeff, you know how on our current recording provider for Cacti, they have to all be assigned skill 15, I think it is, for Cacti to record.
Correct.
Do we have to do that again? Is that what he just?
That's a great question. I don't know.
So Pram and Deepak and Ranjita, the current setup with our current voice recorder provider is, in order for an agent to actually record, there's a split called split 15, which equals Cacti recorder. And that split number 15 has to be assigned to every agent in Avaya. And if that split's removed from them, their profile, they don't record. But it doesn't.
No, I think, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I think in this case, we will not need that, the split 15.
Okay.
So here what we'll do is, like how we are planning is, like once I received your answers the other day, what we're planning is we'll monitor the queues, the ACD for all the queues. And we'll also see like who are the agents who are, added to TxRecord portal. So what we'll do is anybody who logs into their Avaya phone and a part of those skills, which you mentioned, they have an entry in TxRecord, we'll monitor them and initiate recording on their calls.
Okay, I just wanted to double check. I didn't think when we had done the requirements way back when that we had to do that, but I just wanted to clarify.
So this is fine, right? What I just mentioned.
Did I make Ranjita Ranjita, I think you can show your screen if you want to show.
Yeah.
You can show that particular recording that we just did. Only problem is when you're playing, I don't think we'll be able to hear it, right? Because you're also remote.
Yeah. So the recording has come up. I'll just play it.
Yeah, probably go full screen, Ranjita, so they can see the text as well.
Yeah, that's what.
So that's what it is.
Okay, so that was the screen scrape, and we didn't hear Prem's voice because she's doing it remotely.
Yeah, because
I'm able to hear Prem's voice, but I can't play it to you because
through. Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah, Ranjita can go to meeting.
Yeah, because to act.
See, when you're playing on your screen, go to meeting doesn't allow you to hear that. For some, there's some trick to it. So if you're playing, you can hear it from your desktop.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Kathy, I think what we were thinking was like once we are done with the session, I think tomorrow also we are having a session, right?
Correct, because there was managers that couldn't attend today.
Correct, yeah. So we once we finish the session, I think probably we'll add all the managers as a supervisor to the TxRecord, so they will have access and they can log in and see. The other thing is like to just before going live full throttle, we're thinking probably we can have a small UAT done with a bunch of people. So we can try. I just wanted to ask, like, all the managers who are part of it, do they also take calls, and do we need to record them as well?
No, our managers aren't recorded.
Okay, okay. Now I was thinking, like, if we can, free up a few users, let's say even 5 users from the older recording, the cacti one, and if we can put them in TX record for a day or two until we are comfortable, probably we can just monitor, like, if all the activity is captured properly before going completely with the system.
Yeah, we
So,
could start with like the call center first, and Allison and I could do tests there and test out in different scenarios.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, the main thing, the reason why Deepak is saying is because since it's the same Avaya, once if you have two people, if you have your name in both TX record as well as your current recording, that may create some problems. So we don't want to create that problem. So you just select, let's say 4 or 5 people from that particular cacti recording, and then just remove that from cacti and put it in TX record, and then monitor it for a few days and make sure everything is working. And then, we decide a day when we go live.
Yeah, just so Kathy, if you want to designate 4 or 5 agents, we'll get them added in, and we'll make sure that you and Allison get added as in the supervisor manager login ability, and then I can remove them from cacti, the 4 or 5 people, and then you can monitor them. Like Prem is saying, you can watch them for a couple or 3 days and make sure everything is good. So.
Yeah, and once we are fine,
Okay.
probably we can move one application at a time and get everybody on board here.
While you're doing the monitoring of those 4 or 5 people, I'll get all the names, the agents, the extensions, and agent IDs, and all of that stuff, and we'll start building everybody in the system and getting that ready to go.
So when do you anticipate that being done, like by end of next week, or like if say we start testing end of this week, beginning of next week, and we say, yeah, everything looks good Tuesday or Wednesday. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to build everybody in, and isn't that what we paid Meridian for to do, or are they helping you with that, or?
Yeah, I think we will put it in, because I think all the extensions are probably in. The only thing is we may have to look at some class of restriction and that part of it. That I think I'll talk to Robert and get the details. So we'll just make sure that they're in the right core and cause. So mostly it should be fine, is what I believe. So the same extensions can be used here. I think just that we'll add the users to TX record, so that I'll help doing that.
Okay, so Jeff, can you give me I'm still just, what's our timeline?
Well, I don't know how long it's going to take to make sure that everybody gets all their information added in. The extensions, if they're out there, that's fine, but we still have to put names and agent IDs with them. So, I don't know what the timing is going to look like on that. I would say we should be well on our way by the end of next week. I think we should probably.
Okay, because I think you've seen the. All right, yeah, because the sooner the better, just because I'm sure you realize through the emails from logistics managers, more than half of the people aren't currently recording, and that's a huge problem.
I know. And the strange part of it is, this is not germane to this call, but people that aren't recording all of a sudden do record, and then all of a sudden people that do record, then they don't record. I don't understand it either. So yeah, I know the urgency. I get it. So yeah.
Okay.
But I'll talk to Prem, and we'll be on a call for the administrative part of this shortly here after this call's done. So